evening, good evening, bonsoir, buenas noches, buenas noches to investors in North and South America. 我係個 James， 大家好，我是你炒股嘅早晨。Good morning to investors in Asia. Buenas noches, buenas noches, good night, spokojnej chai. Good night to investors in Europe and Africa. I'm Daniel Yu speaking from Hong Kong. It's 25th September here and 24th September in Wall Street. This week, I have three main points to talk about. Number one, dot plot chart. Number two, Chicago target rate. Number three, head and shoulders of the market. And stock recommendations will be a review of the Magnificent Seventh. Subscribe, like, and share. Remember to click the bell, please. Watch our playlist again so as to grasp the continuous trend of the market and refresh your mind. After the July 26th rate decision, it went over for a period of 8 weeks to pave way for the annual meeting, and thus the September 20th FOMC meeting had the longest interval, and market awaited with longing that every single indicators were announced twice with abundant time to consider the situation. After inflation reached the top of 9.1% in June 2022, CPI rebounded for 2 months in July and August of 2023 from 3.0% to 3.7%. A rise of 7 basis points is the greatest rebound in this cycle. PPI also rebounded in July and August 2023 from 0.1% to 1.6%, a rise of 15 basis points, which is greater than CPI. As for PCE, it is the indicator that the Fed cares most about. It rose from 3.0% to 3.3% in July and August figure. And the August figure will be announced this week and is expected to reach 3.5%, which has a total rebound of 5 basis points. But what the Fed cares most about is the core PCE. It rose from 4.1% to 4.2% in July. And the August figure will be announced this week and is expected to go down to 3.8 to 3.9%, which will be even lower than the June figure. Basically, it was due to the rise of petroleum. Russia and Saudi Arabia would not like to increase the production and let the price reach $100 by the end of this year. Russia wanted to use this method to prolong the war in Ukraine so as to make Western countries tired of fighting. But if this really happens, it only will make the Western tighten the sanction against Russia, and destruction will come on both sides. And just see who will collapse first. Russia only occupies 2% of the world GDP, but the G7, EU, and the Quad occupy more than 60% of world wealth. Who will be the final winner? It is written on the wall. So how about the FOMC member when facing such a situation? It is reflected in the dot plot chart. In this chart, the horizontal axis shows the time period and the vertical axis is the interest rate. There are now 90 members in the FOMC meeting. No matter if they have a vote or not, will also be listed. But it only shows each member's forecast by the end of that year and will not show every single meeting. So by the end of 2023, there are 12 members expected the rate would rise to 550 to 575, and only 7 members expected unchanged at 525 to 550. Therefore, it is described in the news. The majority of our FOMC members are agreed to have a rise of 25 basis points either in the November 1st or December 13th FOMC meeting, for they have enough votes to pass the decision. But in the year of 2024, they had not come to a compromise yet. For 4 members expect the rate go down to 525 to 550, 4 members aim at 550 to 525, and 4 others aim at 475 to 500, which means no conclusion yet. The dot plot chart is released 4 times a year in March, June, September, and December in secret ballot style. That is, you would not know who cast the vote on this and that. In the next release, they have the right to adjust upward or downward. It is a common dish. When their forecast is incorrect, just adjust it and no need to say sorry, for people would not know who casted the vote. Practically, they will keep a close eye on economic indicators announced from time to time. So how about the Chicago target rate probabilities? It is always not the same as the dot plot chart. The CME rate is trading on the future of interest rate, or known as market forecast, and dot plot chart is official forecasts for the members really will cast a vote in the FOMC meeting, but they need not to take out their own money. The CME rate shows investors really have taken out capital from their pocket for trading. So who is more accurate? Sometimes this and sometimes that. According to the Chicago way, the probability of keeping interest rate unchanged in the November 1st meeting is 72.6 and on December 13, the chance of keeping unchanged is 57.7%, which means interest rate will not rise this year. So how about next year? Interest rate will be kept unchanged from January to June, and in the June 31st meeting, the chance of cutting to 550 to 525 is 34.8%, the highest among all probabilities. How to study the CME target rate and top-up chart? Please refer to video 26 at 2023-0410 and video 36 at 2023-0619. There are concise descriptions from the beginning till the end. So we better take a look at the market situation. Now, three major indices are in three different kinds of head and shoulders. First of all, please refer to video 45 at 2023-0821 for the 5 heavy waves of three major indices. And also refer to my electronic handouts and a series of 14 teaching videos. There are concise descriptions of how to tell a false head and shoulder pattern to a genuine pattern. They are equipped with live examples, certain tests, and philosophical questions to think about as homework. Meanwhile, any sponsor to our seminars, daily report, or videos are appreciated with gratitude. So we just take a look at the S&P. It is in a typical head and shoulders. Mind that this head and shoulders has two left shoulders, or actually 1.5 left shoulders. The head is wider than the left shoulder, and the right shoulder is in a standard small M shape. There are two jumping gaps. One is at the head, and another is at the last wave of right shoulder, which is likely to be refilled first. It is a slight penetration, but still needs to be confirmed. For Dow Jones, it is in shape of clinging upward head and shoulder with double left shoulders, round top and double right shoulders. No matter short term or medium term, both have slight penetrations. However, among the three kinds of patterns, these penetrations are of least worries, but still can have an optimistic outlook for developing into horizontal platform. As for NASDAQ, it is in a pattern of clinging downward head and shoulders. Left shoulder is in an incomplete double top, and the head and right shoulders are both in standard double top. It is developing into clinging downward head and shoulders. Mind that for all three indices, they all have a jumping gap just 2 bars before reaching the neck line. The one in Dow Jones is the slightest. In NASDAQ and SPAC are larger. This means they have a chance to refill and develop into a multi-right shoulder pattern or a new horizontal platform. Please also refer to video 27 at 2023-0417. There's a concise explanation of how to distinguish true and false head and shoulders with live examples. So, which is the most suitable buying time? We better watch the fear and greed index when it enters into extreme fear zone. It will be the best, but it is not necessary to go inside before rising. So what should investors do now? Even if buying is suggested, it should be spread out gradually. As the indices are like this, they are made up of individual stocks. So we can have one more week for observation. For those that want to buy, only the Magnificent 7 are recommended. Microsoft is in an extension of downward wave ABC, but the extension of wave C not yet confirmed. The four major average lines are mixing up, and now the greatest support is at 250 SMA, which is far away. It occupies 12.63%, the most in the NASDAQ components, but MACD just turned downward. Apple is the hottest stock of the market and occupies 12.60% in NASDAQ index. It is in a multi-bottom shoulder, and support is at $172, but MACD is already in a weak trend. It is under four major average lines, and the support is at 250 SMA. Google is still in a nice rising trend. Sun and Integral, it occupies 7.44% of NASDAQ, ranks the third. Support can be seen at 50 SMA. Even MACD is changing downward, but not so weak. The fourth is Amazon. It has already broken the rising trend and started adjusting. But if you say it is forming a head and shoulders, it is only in the stage of the head and still needs one more wave of forming the right shoulder. Support can be seen at 100 SMA. It occupies 6.31% in NASDAQ. NVDA comes the fifth and has broken the short-term rising trend, but found support at 100 SMA. Actually, it is going to form an island shape, but still developing, not yet confirmed. MACD already under the zero line. It occupies 5.29% of the stock. Meta is as strong as that of Google. Support can be seen at 50 SMA. It ranks 6th and occupies 3.68% in NASDAQ. Tesla even has two jumping gaps, but insufficient data to form an island shape. So only if the two jumping gaps are matched together, it is in a reverse island pattern of turning down, but now can be treated as a false signal. It ranks the 7th and occupies 3.38% in the MMAA GNT. So the conclusion is that even if the 3 major indices are in 3 different patterns of head and shoulders of cranking upward, downward and standard pattern, none of the magnificent 7 are in such patterns. They occupy 50% of the NASDAQ components and 25% of S&P components. If there's no avalanche in the big 7, the market would never fall greatly. So the future market is not so pessimistic. Keep calm and carry on. Everything depends on petroleum price. If it really goes up to 100, it is detrimental to the stock market, but also beneficial to energy stock. So what should investors do is to follow the official of the Fed, watch carefully for the release of each single economic data, and refer to CME target rate and double check when in need. Meanwhile, don't forget the industrial action of vehicles. Even it seems cooled down but not yet over. Also the 100-day strike in Hollywood, where part of it is concerning AI robot taking over jobs of human beings. So again, subscribe, like and share. Please. Sayonara, auf Wiedersehen, adieu, bye bye, see you next week.